Breaking news on this Sunday afternoon. Five-time NBA champion, former league MVP Kobe Bryant died earlier this afternoon in Los Angeles in a helicopter crash.
Once upon a time, there was a young basketball player who had dreams of becoming one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
My name is Kobe Bryant. I'm 17 years old. I have the hunger, the motivation, and the desire to be the best possible basketball player that I can be.
I love playing basketball. There's nothing like it. This is the ball when it bounces, the sound that it makes. When you shoot the ball and it goes right through the net. The competition, the camaraderie, the fans. We just go on and on and on. But what he come to realize is that the goal that he set out initially of becoming the greatest of all time was a very fickle one.
You know, it's, I can't believe how fast 20 years went by. I mean, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And, you know, to be standing here at center court with you guys, my teammates behind me, and appreciating all this, you know, the journey that we've been on. You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs. And I think the most important part is that we all stayed together throughout.
I'm very blessed to be able to say that.
Kobe Bryant, dead at the age of 41, helicopter crash in California as he's going to basketball practice with his daughter. He coaches his daughter.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was that involved. I knew you would see him on the sidelines and, you know, during her practice and stuff, but I didn't know he was super involved.
Yeah, he's the coach. Can you imagine Kobe Bryant's the coach of your 13-year-old team?
His daughter, the only family member of his on the helicopter?
Yes. And we're learning today. I mean, when the reports first came out, we thought initially that there were only 5 people on board. But today we're learning that there were 9 people on board, including Kobe Bryant's daughter, 13-year-old Gigi, Gianna, Gigi as she was known, along with 2 of Gigi's teammates. So 2 other
more
young,
kids?
Yeah, 13
children.
years old,
Yeah, their names were Alyssa Altabelli and Peyton Chester. And I can let you know all 9 names of people who were on board, because we really are hearing a lot about Kobe Bryant and his daughter being killed in the helicopter crash. But it also involved 13-year-old Alyssa Altabelli, along with her parents, John and Carrie Altabelli.
Man.
Peyton Chester, who was 13 years old, along with her mother, Sarah Chester. Christina Mosser, who was a basketball coach at the Mamba Academy. And then the pilot was Ara Zobayan, all deceased.
They were going to the Kobe Bryant's daughter's practice. Why would they have to take a helicopter to that? Is it far away?
Well, Jared, it was my understanding, or at least you were filling me in, that he took helicopters. Kobe Bryant took helicopters all the time.
He did it when he played, you know, so for different reasons. In California, traffic, and then he has this Mamba Academy that's not at his house, and so it's quicker to just take a helicopter, and he has the means to do that. And he's been doing it for 14, 15 years, taking private helicopters places. And so there's fog was involved. They said the police fleet of helicopters wouldn't even fly that day because there's so much fog going on. So some are saying that's what's going on.
What caused it, that weather was most certainly a factor. And that he was flying, the pilot, this is all alleged because we don't know all of the information, but what we're reading today, that the pilot was told, you're flying too low to even be on the radar.
Yeah, so there's some issues.
Who told the pilot that?
I believe.
Like air traffic control?
Yeah. Here's some scanner audio that was reporting the crash of Kobe Bryant.
Units responding to the brush fire 125's area reported lost Virginis in Willow Glen. Reported to be a copter down approximately 300 yards east of the intersection. All units continuing to come up on LA County V5 for assignment.
LA Willow IC, here's we have approximately 1 acre. We do have 1 copter down with medium brush. We do have smoke.
Willow IC, can you confirm patient number and tail number?
We have limited spread in the brush. We are still holding the fire. Forward progress has been stopped at a 30 by 30 spot. We have potential 3 DOAs.
Fire 5 can't respond due to weather. Currently, the only copter on the call is Copter 12.
LA from Willow IC, we're good with the 1 aircraft. Copter 12 will stay on scene.
So they were responding with helicopters to the scene.
Yeah.
And one of them couldn't even get up.
They couldn't see.
They weren't allowed to fly.
They couldn't see. Here's the LAPD reporting a little bit about the crash. Kobe Bryant's the helicopter he was on with his daughter and 7 others.
Shortly before 10 o'clock at 9:47 a.m., the Los Angeles County Fire Department received a 911 call of a potential helicopter down in a brush fire in the city of Calabasas in unincorporated Los Angeles County. Our firefighters arrived on scene. The ground firefighters had to hike into the incident. Firefighter paramedics were in the helicopter, hoisted down to do an investigation of the crash scene, and there are no survivors.
So it even took them a while to get there because they weren't able to fly to it. So they had to hike up the side of a mountain to get to it, and it didn't matter either way. If you've seen the wreckage, oof.
So the timeline was that Kobe Bryant and the other 7 passengers, so along with his daughter, at 9:06 a.m., they left the John Wayne Airport in Orange County, which is, I guess, the one that's closest to their home, where Kobe Bryant's helicopter, it's an S-76, if you're familiar. I've seen a lot of photos with Kobe Bryant beside his helicopter long before. I mean, it was like his favorite mode of transportation,
helicopter,
Yeah, so not new to going and just jumping on the helicopter when he needed to get somewhere. But that was at 9:06. Around 9:20, the helicopter was told that there was a lot of weather, that they were having difficulty seeing, and circled the Los Angeles Zoo for about 15 minutes, waiting for it to clear. Yeah, weather to clear. And then at 9:40, the helicopter traveled north, and it was instructed to turn south and follow Highway 101, which it could see.
Oh, wow.
Where it was. At 9:44, the helicopter turned south following the road, and that's when locals started to report there's a helicopter flying extremely low. I mean, much lower than they had seen, and then also heard that the engine sputtering, which imagine you're standing in your yard and you hear that, and
or being in the helicopter,
and then at 9:45 is when the crash happened.
Horrible.
You would think that there was something wrong with the helicopter's engine. You know, like she's saying, sputtering, because being low, I could swear there's radar. You know how far you are from the ground without, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I was on a helicopter one time. It was this event in Spain. It was a whole long story to get to it, but we were in a helicopter following a guy that was trying to break this world record thing with a jetpack on his back. It sounds ridiculous, but he was flying just with a jetpack on his back, and it was just cloudy. And at one point, we're going through the clouds, and I have no idea what's going on. And they even went back lower because like we can't see. And these were Spanish.
I know you can't see, but you should be able to know how far up you are.
Yeah, I think that you start losing. You
get disoriented. In the clouds.
You still have the. Yeah, you're right. You still know how high you are, but you don't know if there's a mountain right there. I mean, unless you know everything everywhere where you're going.
And we're understanding that they were flying, when you're on a commercial aircraft or any sort of aircraft, you are being monitored all the time by radar, and they're monitoring you and you're monitoring them to figure out where you are. And they're being told in this helicopter that Kobe Bryant and his 8 other passengers, they're being told you are too low to be detected.
But I'm wondering if they were too low because they were having some kind of problem.
Yeah.
Could be, or maybe the circling made low on gas. I mean, we'll find out all this information.
Yeah.
We do have on the phone with us, she's an Emmy award-winning sports broadcaster, Kate Delaney. She's interviewed Kobe Bryant before. We're going to get her perspective. Good morning, Kate.
Good morning, Kate.
Good morning. Well, I was just listening to you go through the timeline. He did such a great job there, and it's so sad. It just gave me chills thinking of the 101 and the description of the helicopter going down and sputtering, and probably many of those people in Calabasas and in nearby Westlake Village. I know the area well, not realizing whose helicopter it was or who was on board and what would end up being such a huge tragedy. So just a terrible, terrible day.
Okay, so first of all, thanks for joining us. So you've interviewed Kobe before. What can you let us know? Because, we just see him on TV. There's their perception and there's different things about a great athlete, Hall of Famer, all this stuff. What do you know about Kobe that maybe we don't?
Well, I think because I covered basketball. I was in Dallas, and the Mavericks played the Lakers, and I had a talk show, a drive time talk show, and I didn't have to go down and watch any games, but I would go to games for fun, or then I would go to games and talk to players. And because he was in town, I wanted to talk to him, and they arranged that I could talk to him, and it was such a great conversation because we sat and we both are from Philadelphia. He's from the Philadelphia area, and we talked and argued about cheesesteaks. We talked about,
Yeah.
no, that's not the best place for cheesesteaks. What are you talking about? So he immediately liked me. And we talked about, making the transition from high school into what became this huge, career, and what was the toughest thing about travel, and so much more than just basketball itself. And then watching him and seeing what he did that night. And of course he scored, over 29 points. And then I was in the locker room afterwards, and he said, "How about that, Philly? What do you think?" And so he remembered, and he was that kind of guy. And I know people that covered him on a daily basis, and he used to fist pump them, because he played with the media. If he liked you, certainly. And he was a funny guy too. He had a funny personality.
Yeah, because you don't see that side of him that much. But the fact that he remembered you, I mean, he meets thousands and thousands of people. That had to make you feel good. The superstar that you talked to for a few minutes is like, already has a nickname for you and everything like that.
What age did he retire?
Oh, was he? It was
4 years ago, so 38, 37.
So when you think about it, I mean, I know he was in the NBA, and he had so much more of his life to go, because a lot of his time was taken up doing basketball, something he loved, which is great.
Right.
But he had his daughter and his families now that he was probably retiring and getting set for the rest of his life to live that type of lifestyle, which maybe a lot of people started earlier.
For them.
Yeah, I mean,
for his family.
Yeah, he has 4 daughters, and they say everything I hear, he's heavily involved in their lives, as you should be. But I mean, with his daughter loving basketball, and I don't know, it's hard not to make it personal when you think about my life with my kids and the things that they have going for them, and I would much rather something happen to me than have their life taken at such a young age. I mean, Kobe's young, 41. His daughter's 13. I don't know. It's just a tragedy. It's hard not to make it personal.
Was Gigi she was the oldest of the 4?
I don't know. Do you know, Kate, if Kate's joining us, Kate Delaney, she's an Emmy Award-winning sports broadcaster. Do you know if Gigi was the oldest, or was she the second oldest?
No, she was the oldest. Of the 4 daughters with Vanessa. And, it's terrible to think about that. I love the way you put that in perspective. It's about the children and the fact that there were 2 other girls on that plane, too, that were her very close friends and teammates. How awful.
Well, and you think from the point of view of Vanessa now, Kobe Bryant's wife, who is left raising the 3 daughters, and one of them, my understanding is the youngest is 7 months old.
Oh my goodness!
You think to yourself, oh well, there goes my husband and our daughter, and they're just going to go to basketball practice, and I don't know what she was doing. I
take care of the babies. I'm sure. Yeah.
As all mothers do. You're at home and you don't think anything of it. In a way, it's almost like you're tag team in it. Like husband goes and takes care of that, and I'll be here, and we'll all meet for dinner, and in 1 second, it's over.
It's all over, yeah.
I can't imagine the strength she must be looking for today to carry on.
And for years to come.
For sure.
Well, Kate, we know you're very busy this morning. Kate Delaney, she's a award-winning author and Emmy award-winning sports broadcaster, met Kobe several times. Thank you for your perspective. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Kate.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
Well, and also, I think it's important to make sure, we are very aware that there were 9 people on board.
Yes.
And I know that Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi certainly getting the most attention. But if you think about it, a whole family of parents, along with their daughter John and Carrie Altabelli, their daughter Alyssa, who was on board, have also died. Sarah Chester and her daughter Peyton on board. They also passed away.
Leaving a husband behind.
Yes, and then Christina Mosser, who is a coach at the Mamba Academy owned by Kobe Bryant. Her husband left behind, talking today about how do you go? And then, of course, the pilot, you think that was his intention?
No, God. Absolutely not.
Not at all. So we're thinking of them and their families today, too.
And I'm a big time sports fan.
Yeah.
And I grew up, to be fully transparent, I did not like Kobe because he came into the league saying, I'm going to be better than Michael Jordan, who's my man. I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan. And then he's getting close to being as good as Michael Jordan. And all of a sudden, I'm like, how dare he do this? And then as he retired, I felt like a more, you have these people that you follow for whatever reason in sports or celebrities or whatever. And then seeing him transition, and he did a short film that won an Academy Award. It's like everything he does wins. He won that a couple of years ago that he produced and everything. He has an Academy Award
I didn't know that about that.
Yeah. And the involvement with his kids, I don't know. It just makes
Kobe seemed like a good family guy.
Yeah. He definitely with it. They say as a dad, great dad, heavily involved.
It seems.
And so it's just it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy when anyone dies, famous or not, and then people that you follow and you feel like you know. It's just a shock. And the loss of life at a young age, to me, is the worst.
And he was, I think that it would be fair to say, not without some controversy.
He had controversy,
but it seemed that he was in a very good place with his family, with his wife, with his children.
Yeah, early on, and it's just part of his.
Of course,
but
in a good
2003, he
place.
was accused of sexual assault, and it was found not guilty, and then had a civil settlement outside, and his wife forgave him. He admitted to cheating, and then from that point on, then started he had kids and and everything. So he was able to. People make
for
mistakes.
an example to turn that around and be so, there's gonna maybe he can inspire people who have done that in the past to shape up.
Right, because everyone makes mistakes, so it is also. And one other thing, real quick, one thing I love about I think everyone on the show is super competitive.
Yeah.
And I admire people who are competitive, and he was uber competitive, even to the fact if let's say I heard a broadcaster saying that he said to Kobe Bryant, I want to be the best sports broadcaster. And he goes, well, what are you doing about it? And he said he asked him like 10 very tough questions. And after he talked to Kobe, he's like, I'm not doing enough to be as good as I should be, because Kobe really was like, if you want to be great, you got to be doing, what are the active steps you're taking to be great?
Yeah.
It's a good reminder.
That is heavy because the answer for me would be nothing. I mean, you think about it, like if nothing,
right.
nothing. I would get up every day and I'm like, oh, what's for lunch?
Right.
What's for lunch? And
so honest.
when can I go back to sleep? Those are the two main
my
thoughts.
first two thoughts when I wake up. Yeah.
I wish that it was like, oh, my children are so beautiful. It's not. I have to go to work, and that's crappy. You need to change your
That
thoughts.
is very deep, Katie. And ironically, this is kind of weird, but Carol drugged me to church on Sunday.
Yes.
And they were talking about this, like you get kind of stuck in this routine, right? And sometimes he made a thought saying, when you drive here to work, sometimes you drove all the way to work, and then you think to yourself, how did I even get here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're saying that there's a good percentage of your everyday life that's really subconscious. Right. And in order to actually change something, it's your brain's not used to that. And you have to, even if it's just something in the breakfast, you eat cereal every day, cereal every day. And then you have to be like, okay, today I'm going to do eggs. And it's different. Your brain's not used to that.
Yeah.
And you have to do that in order for something to be done about it.
I agree.
And this is the worst part of the whole day at church.
Most people are
feel
feeling
better when they
afflicted.
leave. Yeah.
Yes.
But he unfortunately provided some evidence that hope is actually a strategy.
Get out.
We've been telling you that a long time.
I was pissed. I turned to Carol. I'm like, how dare you drop my whole entire saying that hope is not a strategy.
If you're not familiar, Jason is very strong on the fact that hope is not a strategy.
Yeah.
Because he's talking about not being victim, being victim, right? And he was talking about people that are in poverty a lot of times. And sometimes it's the rut they're in, it's the daily, like, I can't do anything. And sometimes, he said, if somehow you could give this person hope, that might trigger something for them to do something different. Boy, I was like, how dare you
Bastard, know-it-all.
And you thought, well, this makes sense.
I was like, darn it, there's some evidence. How am I going to explain myself at work? I'm just going to tell him right away, fine, there's partially some.
Hope is a partial strategy, not a full strategy.
Did a little part of you, when you were thinking, when you hear the words out of your pastor, right? Is that what you
It was
call
one of them. I don't know. I think so.
We say priest, so I don't,
We have a bishop. Yeah,
Yes.
it's all different.
So, at one point, did you think, man, Jared and Katie are right? Did you?
At some
Did
point,
you?
I know it's hard for you.
I just thought there was more evidence. I was looking up at the sky, look, I don't know, like I'm going to see God up there or something.
It's like, I told you.
You're going to see hope
You're
rain
really
down.
trying to prove yourself.
What are you looking for?
I said, you're really trying to prove yourself, aren't you? I know it. Okay, I get it. The more evidence today.
Well,
good. And I walked into church yesterday for some reason, like, I don't know, this
I don't wanna be
less
here.
evidence. And Carol drugged me here, and I'm agnostic. And then I left like, darn it, I'm a little lax today.
Well, you're doing your job.
I would love to come to your baptism. Just tell me when it is. I would attend.
Now that I will come to.
Yeah, we'll be there.
That's
All
not
right.
going to happen.